Alrighty, and I believe we are live. So let me check here. I think we are good. Okay, so we are live. Sorry everyone. Okay, perfect. Thanks to Broke Mice. Sorry everyone, this is a super impromptu live stream and I'm trying to make it so that way you guys can see me. So I'm trying to practice live streaming from my phone. I've never done that before, so I thought I'd come on here, try it out, try to do a live stream. Hey, Main Street Explorers. And we're gonna make some scrunchies tonight. So yeah, so this is a little bit last minute. I am not as prepared as usual. So thank you guys for tuning in and joining tonight. And we're going to make a scrunchie or two. So thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I see Two Broke Mice in the chat, Main Street Explorers. Thank you guys. Let me know who else is here. And we're going to get on into it. So depending on who else in the chat, you guys can tell me which scrunchie you want to see made tonight since you guys joined in last minute. Like I said, I am streaming from my phone, so I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know how the quality is and everything. But I thought tonight I would try to make a scrunchie out of some of the clothes that I had gotten from my thrifting haul. If you had seen that on my Instagram story, I went to the thrift shop a few days ago and got some clothes to use for practicing my sewing and trying to make some items or whatnot out of those clothes that I had gotten. So I have the extra large thrifted yellow t-shirt here, and I have the tropical scrubs here. So you guys can let me know in the chat which scrunchie you'd like to see made, if you want the tropical print here or the yellow t-shirt print. We'll see, whatever you guys think. But while you guys are deciding or while you let me know, let me see. You could be fishing and trying to live stream from your phone. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I should. That's why I wanted to try, because I really wanted to be able to go live at Disney, but just with my YouTube right now, I'm not able to go live directly like through my YouTube. So that's why I'm giving this a try here for next time whenever I go to Disney World, and hopefully can do a live stream there. But here are some of my previous scrunchies. I've got this green. Well, we can actually make that one too, but and then this one was made out of the recycled or the thrifted dress that I had gotten. And then we have the yellow t-shirt here. So I'm thinking that maybe tonight we'll make it out of the scrubs, because I haven't made a scrunchie out of that material yet. So maybe we'll try that one out, and depending on what time we have later, maybe we can make one out of the yellow t-shirt. So I'm not sure what all you guys can see here. I might move it down. You might not be able to see my face as much anymore just because of the angle of my camera and everything, but I'm gonna move it down just so you guys can see my sewing machine and everything. So we're gonna push the sewing machine back a little bit and start making and getting our materials out for our scrunchies. So you can see here I already had cut out the material for a pair of ears I actually made. Here are the ears that I made. The bow actually fell off. It was really unfortunate, but I'm gonna glue it back on. But these are the ears that I made out of the scrubs material. So we'll make a matching scrunchie for it, and later on we'll put the bow back on. So so here we go. I am just going to do it out of this leg part here. And I actually made over here for myself, I made a template out of cardboard just to just make it a little bit easier, a little bit faster whenever I go to make my scrunchies, instead of using like a measuring tape or whatnot. I just decided to make a template so it was easier to get my material. But if you guys are interested in making your own scrunchies, the size of material you need, I use a 21 inch long piece of material, and then I believe it's 3.5 inches wide. So I'll just use pen here. I don't have any like fancy marker fabric markers. I just use pen because I know that it's gonna end up being hidden with my seams and everything later. So just go down here, mark out the material. Okay. All right, there we go. So we have our material all marked out. Madison, will you hand me the scissors right there? There should be on the, like, in front of you. Yeah. Oh, they aren't. Thank you. Okay. So we're gonna cut it out. All right, pull it closer to you guys so you can see. Two broke mice. I see you said wrong with a template. Hey, Josh Goes to Disney. Thanks for tuning in. This is just a last minute live stream I decided to do. I'm trying to practice live streaming from my phone, so whenever I go to Disney, I am able to do some live streams, and thought I would just share some scrunchie making with you guys. So thanks for tuning in. We're making a scrunchie out of these thrifted scrubs that I had gotten from the thrift store. Okay, so once we get this material all cut out, it'll get a little bit more exciting for you guys. Yeah, it is fun live streaming from the phone. I'm just doing it over StreamYard on the web browser. My friends over at Main Street Explorers, they were telling me about how they were practicing it. So yeah, I'm really excited about it because I was really wanting to do some live streams like at Disney whenever I go. And now I think that I'll be able to. If it turns out being well tonight, I think I should be able to try it. I'm going back to the parks I'm going to Magic Kingdom on October 3rd. So hopefully we'll be able to get some live streams in whenever I'm at the park next time. Okay, so we have our material all cut out here. It's not your typical scrunchie material, but still fun. I love the fabric, the colors and everything. You guys can see there. So we're going to do that, and next what we need to do is pin the two wrong sides together. I just have to get my pins here. Sorry guys, like I said, I was a little bit unprepared for this, but it's all good. Okay, so here we are. Going and pinning both of the sides together so that way whenever I go to sew them together, they aren't, they're able to be sewn right both sides together, and I won't miss either sides of the material, because that has happened before. I've noticed that I go all the way down, I get done with the seam, and then I look over and it's overlapped. They're not actually touching each other. So by using pins, it makes sure that those sides are touching, and whenever I sew them, they will be sewn correctly. So oops. Oh, I'm throwing my pins. All right. Okay, so before we get to sewing that, we're going to go ahead and cut our elastic. So I'm not sure what size elastic this is, but when this size elastic is, you definitely use it for your scrunchies, but it's a little bit too big for the scrunchies that I like to make. So what I'll do is I just measure out a 6-inch long piece of elastic. I'll cut it out, and then I just fold it halfway, the two sides together, and I just pinch them together, create a seam down in the middle, and then I will just draw a line down the center. That way I can cut it right in half, and I'll have enough elastic for 2 scrunchies. All right. So there we go. Hey, Gonzo. Thanks for joining in. Hope you're having a good evening. I'm just doing a last-minute live stream. I wanted to practice live streaming from my phone. So that's what we're doing tonight. I'm just making a quick scrunchie or two, and then we are maybe going to call it a stream. I just wanted to practice this so that way I knew I would be able to do it. So next time I go to Disney, hopefully I could get a live stream out for you guys. All right, so next step is we are going to go ahead and sew the wrong sides together. So whenever you go to sew it, you want to leave about 1 inch or 1.5 inches of space material on either sides of the scrunchie, and once I start doing it, it'll make sense. But you want to do that because that'll help you to be able to sew the scrunchie together to finish it off at the end. But we'll get to that and hopefully make a little bit more sense for you guys. I'm using black thread right now just for the seam down here because you're not going to be able to see it once the scrunchie's actually made, and it saves some of the colored thread that I have for times that the thread needs to be seen. So I just usually use black thread because I have a lot of it, and you don't have to use up some of the other colored thread that you might have that you need to use in other situations. So I'm going to go here. Hopefully you guys can see how I'm sewing here. But there we go. I'm leaving about 1 inch, 1.5 inches of space. And I'm gonna put my presser foot down. Got to get my little pedal here, and we are good to go. Alrighty. Gonna do a back stitch. Gotta pull my pin out here. right, and we're almost finished here. Alright, so we're going to stop there, do a quick back stitch, and then make sure our needle's up, and pull out the threads, cut them off there, and you're going to have this long strip, but you're going to notice that your material is inside out. So we're going to go and flip the material to the right side now. I'm going to cut these strings, and we'll bring you up so you guys can see me here now. There we go. Okay. So thank you guys again for tuning in. This is my new hobby, and I'm excited to share it with you guys here on my channel. I do have a video that I've been meaning to put out about how I made the ears, the scrub ears. So that'll hopefully be coming out eventually once I get around to editing it. But I'm glad that I can do some live streams just to show you guys firsthand kind of the progress that I've been making, because I've never really had much sewing experience in the past. So it's definitely a little bit of a learning curve, but I spent a lot of majority of last week trying to learn how to use my sewing machine, and I think that the time really paid off. So sometimes it's hard to take a break from, you know, doing, like I was doing a lot of YouTube, and I just took a break a little bit and tried to practice learning a new skill, but it'll be good to be able to kind of merge the two now. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well. So now we're going to fish our elastic through here. So our material is the right side out, and we are going to fish our material or our elastic down through here, which sometimes can be a little bit of a challenging part. We might have to get a pin, but you just fish the elastic down through, and then I'll just go up through the other side here. And this material is actually a lot easier. It's not as thick, so I think it's gonna be a little bit easier to get the other end of the elastic. Almost. So usually what I'll use, and like I said, I was not very prepared for tonight, is safety pins. You can just safety pin the one end of elastic to the end of the scrunchie material here, and then it's a lot easier to, you don't have to worry about the other end here coming through your scrunchie. But I found the one end, and we're just going to try to push it through. It's a little bit challenging without the safety pin. Maybe we can get it. Struggling a little bit here. Okay, we might have to get, you can at least use this pin here. All right, now let's try that again. Okay, so found the elastic, and we're just going to pull it through, starting to scrunch up a little bit. All right, perfect. So finally, we've got both ends of the elastic. We've got one there, one here on either side of our scrunchie here, so you can see it's almost completed. So before you go and sew the ends together, you want to make sure that your material isn't twisted at all. You want to make sure that the seam is perfectly in line and that you don't have it twisted. So we're going to put another pin so that way I don't lose the elastic. Oops. Oh, I almost lost it there. That would not have been good. All right, and we're actually going to do that. All right. So there we go. I'm going to cut this part of the elastic off because it's frayed a little bit. And I've actually had scrunchies that I've made, I've gotten completely done, and I didn't notice that the ends of the elastic were a little bit frayed, and I go to pull on it, put it into my hair, and it snaps. And it's really disappointing, but it's allowed me to learn that I need to be careful whenever I actually go to sew my elastic together to make sure that the elastic is sturdy and strong. But there is no twist at all in our fabric here, so we are good to sew the elastic to the ends. So let me see here. You want to sew your elastic to the end of one of the flaps here. So it doesn't matter where you sew it at. I usually just sew it in the middle. So hopefully this goes well. Sometimes I have a little bit of troubles whenever I go to sew the elastic, but we will see how this goes here. So I'm just putting the elastic there. All right. There we go. And we're going to put our presser foot down, holding it in place. There we go. Making sure both of my strings are out. All right. And then I do a zigzag stitch. Sorry. I do a zigzag stitch because it's a lot more sturdy than doing just a single straight stitch. So I just turn my dial here, and it's going to be a zigzag stitch now. Okay. So I just run back and forth a bunch of times. It definitely does not look super pretty or glamorous at all by any means, but I am still learning, and you don't actually see it anyway. So all that matters is that your elastic is tight. So here we have it on the one side, and it is zigzag stitched a bunch of times back and forth, and just going to check and make sure our elastic is sturdy and that it won't snap off, because it is super disappointing whenever it does. So, but it looks like it's good, and we're just going to do our other side and then sew the two flaps together. Thanks everyone for tuning in again. I appreciate you guys watching and hope you guys are enjoying. I know it might not be the most exciting thing, but this new hobby of mine does bring me a lot of joy, so I'm really excited to be able to share it with you guys. All right, so we're just going to zigzag stitch again. So we went back and forth a bunch of times again. Just gonna cut the strings off here. Sorry if you can hear the cars in our parking lot. Keep turning on and off, but here we go again. We've got both sides stitched. Hey, surfer girl. I see your comment says, love these tutorials, wish I could see. I hope you can see what, if you were talking about the stream, I hope you're able to see it, but we're just here making some scrunchies. I just went and I sewed both the elastic to either side, and we're actually almost done making one of the scrunchies. So thank you for tuning in. Next part here is a little bit tricky, but with this material it might not be as bad. But what you want to do is you have both of the flaps here. You can see how the scrunchie's coming together. And what you want to do is you want to sew either side of the flaps together. I'm not sure if I just said that, but you want to sew either side of the flaps here together. You'll see once I start sewing it. And so you're going to have it sewn together, and then you'll just have this gap opening here. And we're going to work to close that up, and that will be the last step. So sometimes this is a little bit of a tricky part. Oh, you meant sew. I got you. Yeah. Well, it's a fun thing to learn and a fun thing to know how to do. I have had really no sewing experience at all. Just a little bit here and there with my mom's sews and, you know, home ec classes in high school. But other than that, I don't have a ton of experience. So it's definitely been pretty exciting and fun to learn how to do. But here we're just going to finish up the ends. So we just want to make sure that both of the flaps are lined up. So you might have to bear with me a little bit. These, this part takes a little bit of time, so just bear with me, and hopefully we'll be able to get the seams to line up here and our scrunchie to turn out. So I just put my presser foot down, lowering my needle here so that way I don't lose my threads. And working to keep our seams together. And there we go. I'm going to start here. Alright, so I just did a few stitches, making sure that the flaps are still together, and then I'm going to do a quick back stitch. And at this part, it's like slow and steady is best, because you're almost done and you don't want to mess up your scrunchie here. So just continue going around, making sure the flaps are together. Alright, then finishing up, we're just going to do a back stitch. Awesome. So that went a lot better than I was expecting, so doesn't usually go that smoothly or that quickly, but hey, I'm not complaining. So I'm just going to cut our strings here. And our scrunchie is almost complete. So we just went and, not super glamorous, but we just sewed out around the edge of the two flaps here. And whenever you do that, you want to make sure that you sew below your stitch on your elastic. So this one I got pretty close at, that's because that was the bottom flap. But if you don't go below that, whenever you go to pull around the other side of your scrunchie here, you'll be able to see where you sewed your elastic at. So here's our seam right here, and if I would have gone above where our elastic seam was at, you'd be able to see it somewhere around here. So just keep note of that if you're trying to make your own scrunchies. But we just sewed both of the flaps together, and the last step that you have is finishing off the seam. So you'll see there's just an open seam here around around the edge here. Let me get it all. It's all wrinkled up a little bit. There we go. So you'll see there's this opening, and so what we're going to do is just fold the ends in together, and we're going to sew out around the edge of the scrunchie and finish it off, and you're going to have your finished scrunchie. So what I need to do here, since I was using black thread, I actually am going to go and change my thread color since this seam is going to be visible. I was trying to find last minute a thread that kind of matched the best, and so this is the best that I could do right now, was this like magenta-y color, which is kind of the same color as this pink magenta here in our scrunchie material. So we are going to do that, but I didn't actually have a bobbin threaded yet for this color. So we're gonna go, and you guys are gonna be able to see how to thread a bobbin. So you just take your bobbin, if you don't have much sewing experience, you just take your bobbin. The bobbin is the spool that goes at on the bottom stitch of your sewing machine, and so you put your bobbin up here. Actually, we're going to take it off really quick. What you want to do is, let's find, I haven't used this thread yet. It's the first time I'm using this thread, so you want to take your one end of your thread, you can't really see it, and you want to put it into one of the top holes of your bobbin, and then you can go ahead and put it on this little knob here on your sewing machine. I don't really have much of the technical wording of sewing yet, so you're gonna have to bear with me, but then you want to, there's a little knob that you want to switch over, and you go, let me remember how to do this. You have to wind it around this knob up here. I know, super technical. And now, since you, there's this little knob up here, you'll hear maybe this click. Whenever you push this one knob back into place, it tells the sewing machine that you need, that it is going to thread the bobbin and not actually sew on your machine here. So we have that all in place, and we're just going to get my pedal down here and start to thread our bobbin. So you just hold this top thread so that way it continues to be threaded. And I'm just going to do a little bit because I don't need a ton of this thread on a bobbin. And that should be good there. So just take it off, maybe. Oh, you have to disengage the bobbin knob Like I said, I don't know many of the technical terms yet, but okay, so we have our bobbin all threaded. So whenever I figured out how to thread the bobbin, guys, that was pretty big for me. I was pretty proud of myself because I actually just kind of figured out how to do it. And so just going to thread our machine here again. Okay. All right. Gonna pull our needle up so we can wrap it around and thread it. Put the thread in our needle here. Oh, you guys probably can't see as well, sorry. Okay. I appreciate you guys bearing with me here. All right, so sometimes this part is a little tricky getting the needle threaded. Could also be this thread. Maybe. There we go. Okay. So we have successfully threaded the needle. So now we just have to press the needle down, bring it back up, and that is going to allow us to get our bobbin to be threaded. Sometimes it's a little tricky to pull up the bobbin. All right. Oh, that didn't work. We're gonna have to try it again. I knew it was going too smoothly, guys. The stream was going too smoothly. Okay, there we go. All right. So we have successfully re-threaded our machine here, and we're going to finish off our scrunchie just so the two ends here together, making sure that the flaps are all the way down whenever we go to sew it over. Make sure it's nice and flat. And we will have our scrunchie nice and finished off. Okay. So almost done. Okay. Back stitch. have our scrunchie. Cutting the threads off. And you can see our seam here. Ideally, it would probably be a different color to blend in with our fabric, but other than that, doesn't look too bad. And what do you guys think? Main Street Explorers make it look easy. It was a little bit learning how to make these. I am not gonna lie. There were different ways I looked up on. You haven't used a sewing machine since. Yes, that was pretty much me. Two broke mice. I haven't used a sewing machine in so long, and so it definitely there was a learning curve to it, but it's pretty enjoyable. I had a fun time learning how to do it, and so this material isn't your ideal or typical scrunchie material, but it'll be fun to have a matching scrunchie to go with the scrub ears whenever they are actually put together. It'll be kind of fun to have a matching set. So I'm looking forward to it, and that went a lot smoother than I was thinking it would go. Doing it live, I was a little bit concerned about how my sewing was going to go. The only rough patch we had was re-threading the machine a little bit and fishing the elastic through, so I was really happy with that. So thank you guys for tuning in. I think we'll just make one scrunchie for tonight, but maybe in future live streams I'll definitely share with you some other fabric and material that I get, because I'm running out of your typical scrunchie material, like your soft stretchy material, and so I need to go and get some more of that. But I'll definitely be doing some more live streams showing you guys how I use my sewing machine, my journey and adventures of sewing, and maybe you guys can see how I improve a little bit. So I'm excited about that. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm excited that I can stream from my phone now, so you can expect to see some Disney live streams, which I'm super excited for. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm excited about this scrunchie. I'm going to go share it over on my Instagram, show you guys how it turned out, and thanks for tuning in. So we'll see you guys later. Thank you.